after being scratched by radioactive buckthorn, bitten by a radioactive emerald ash borer, and periodically slipping and falling into radioactive recycling bins, mild-mannered Johnny Burnsville was transformed into Sustainability Man. Now faster than compost, taller than a rain barrel, and more powerful than an LED light bulb, Sustainability Man uses his sustain ability to seek out sustainable resources, energy efficiency, and green programs.
I am Sustainability Man. I have come to Burnsville in search of green projects and sustainable resources. Today, I am just on the outskirts of the wetlands at Crystal Lake West, and I am joined by Wetland Health Evaluation Program Field Monitoring Coordinator Mary Kay Lynch. Oh, that's a mouthful. Mary Kay, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
As you know, Sustainability Man is always on the lookout for green projects. But sometimes when it comes to wetlands or water bodies, green is not always good. And the Wetland Health Evaluation Program is there to help. Could you please tell us a little bit more about that program?
Certainly. WEP is a program in which teams of volunteers go out to the wetlands and they sample macroinvertebrates. Those are little critters that don't have backbones, but we can see them without microscopes. So they sample macroinvertebrates and the plants in a wetland in order to assess the health.
Now, why is it important to track this health of our local wetlands?
Well, wetlands serve many useful functions. One of the things that they do, with the plants especially, is absorb some chemical pollutants like phosphates and nitrates that may run off. They provide wildlife habitat, of course. They help with restoring or recharging the water table.
And the idea is that WEP collects this data to make sure or to monitor the health of those plants and they are doing their function.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned that this work is done primarily by volunteers. What is it that these volunteers who literally wade into the wetlands to collect this data, what is it that they do? How do they actually get this information?
In June, they put in something called bottle traps.
Huh?
Very sophisticated. Not really. They're 2-liter pop bottles with the top cut off, top inverted. So there's a big opening for critters to go in, very small opening for them to come out. So it traps them. And then the other way that we get invertebrates is with a dip net.
Huh?
So those that don't move so fast, that may be crawling on vegetation, will be trapped by the dip net. Then we preserve those in alcohol, take them to a lab and identify them. And we know that certain plants and certain animals or groups of those have predictable responses to human disturbance.
And by getting those results, they can test how healthy or unhealthy a wetland or a water body is.
Yes.
Now, we've mentioned volunteers, and this program would not be possible without them.
Exactly.
And I'd be willing to bet that we have some sustainability boys and girls at home who are chomping at the bit to help. Can you tell them, how can they get involved?
Well, the best way to find out is to go to the website. That's www.alllowercase.mwhep.org. There's lots of information there.
Sustainability boys and girls, take note. Mary Kay, before I let you go, Now, we know that it is important to collect this information to be able to provide to cities and to counties and to other organizations so they can take action to help improve their wetlands and water bodies. But there are things that people at home can also do to help protect these water bodies and prevent pollution. Do you have some tips that you could leave in closing for the sustainability boys and girls at home?
Yes. If they make sure that nothing runs off their property into storm drains except water. Keep a buffer of plants on the edge of the water body. Be sure you don't have an erosion problem that puts sediment into the wetland. If you get tired of goldy goldfish, don't put it in the wetland because it would disturb the balance. And they can join us in WEP. We have fun, we do important things, and we would be delighted for more volunteers.
Mary Kay Lynch, excellent advice. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you.
Now, my sustainability sense is telling me that I must be off. But until next time, remember, you too can use your sustainability.